We'll do it live! Fuck it! Do it live!
Welcome to the Mouthpiece, episode 106. Today we're going to talk about my 2 weeks in poker, what's going on in the poker world, sports, politics, whatever y'all want. The Mouthpiece is next. What up, everybody? Welcome to Mouthpiece, episode 106. Today we got Wootie the cat, who wants to just kind of hang on my lap because she's so scared of the other cats. And I kind of cordoned off this little area so they don't. This one cat, just little Gizmo, attacks her so bad. It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's true. Doug Polk wants to call other people scammers, but he fucked people on CoinFlex. Like, I heard $10 million in the poker world, but that's okay. Doug Polk can call Robbie J Lew 98% cheated, but couldn't wait to have her on his stream for views and clicks. People with no morals, I have no respect for. I like Doug. I have nothing against him, but grow a backbone, grow a spine, take responsibility for things you say and do. I do. I say things a lot of times that aren't good, or I think that I made a mistake, but you own up to it. I just don't understand people that'll go out on a limb and say so many things, and then if it could financially benefit them, they take it back. I mean, Doug did the same thing with Daniel. He called him every name under the sun for 2 years, baited him into playing him head up where he knew he couldn't lose, and I don't know. Money is everybody's god, and I think it's disgraceful. People need to bring God back into their life, and financial, monetary things, and personal things, cars, boats, plane. Who gives a fuck what you have? As long as you have your morals and your ethics, and you care about people, and you try and do the right things all the time, that's all that really matters. But, yeah, been an interesting week, 2 weeks for me in poker. Last week, I basically had an interesting week in poker. I won $3,000 in the cash game. Then I didn't really play all week. I then played two sit and goes, one for $5K and another for $10K. With my group of people. I won both of those. So that put me at about 18,000 a winner for the week. I then lost 39.94, and then came back with a crazy session where I was stuck 34,000. Come back to win 59.96 for a weekly total of 18,996. So that was a good week last week. It's never fun to get stuck over 30,000 and have to somehow play your heart out to get it back. I really wish I would just get out in front 30,000 in 2-3 days in a row. But, you know, I have set a goal. I told you guys about the fuck up I did with the big mix game where I lost 165K. And so my goal is to win that back, plus my bill money, which is around $10,000 a month, of 195 by the World Series. This week has really gotten off to a pretty good week. I'm up in front 27K. So basically I have 114K right now to make up by the World Series. Let's see, we have, hi Wootie, I know you want to be the star. that we have, 10 weeks. 100, that's about 11,000 a week I need to make. I'm not in no rush. I've learned from my mistakes. Sometimes you make mistakes and you can't get it all back at once. You just got to kind of just work hard and hopefully grind it back. So I definitely have my head in the right place. I'm not looking to win 100,000 in a week. If I do, I do. But I mean, basically, I'm trying to grind myself about 11,700 a week till the World Series every week. Now there's going to be some 30K weeks and there's going to be some losing weeks. So, being out in front this week, 27K feels pretty good. Hopefully I'll be able to, let's see, we have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days left. I'll probably play one of those, maybe pick up another 5,000 or 6,000, have a good week. So poker has been good. It's turned around. I've won, let's see, up 27 this week, 18 the week before, 22 the week before, 16 the week before. So not big wins, but positive wins. And that's what you need to do when Wootie. Come on, Wootie. That's what you need to do when you set yourself a goal and you know what you need going into the World Series. I don't want to be short on money, and so I'm going to work hard and really try and put a lot of hours in and try and do well. I'm going to do a little bit of traveling here in about 3 weeks. I'm probably going to head up to Chicago to hang out with my Chicago friends up there and play some poker up there. Probably in about 3 weeks, I think. Probably do another appearance on Hustler Casino around the 1st of the month. But I'll let you guys know what's going on. Yeah, I noticed also I haven't seen the Bay 101 Shooting Stars, and I haven't been contacted by them, so I don't believe they are having it this year. If they are, I would be shocked. I've been invited every year, so I know it's no longer a WPT, but it's still a great tournament. So we'll see. I'll reach out and find out the next few days on that. Let's see. Sports. Been watching a lot of basketball. My Lakers are surviving. We really need to win today or tomorrow. I mean today or Sunday. Like the Knicks or Toronto. We can't lose both of those games and fall 4 games under 500. So I really think today's a must-win. They got D'Angelo Russell coming back. Anthony Davis is playing out of his mind. So if they could, Toronto's been playing well, but if they could beat Toronto today, the Knicks are playing great. They got stuck in a big hole yesterday, almost got out. But they are without Jalen Brunson. He has some kind of small injury. So, I mean, there is a chance the Lakers could win both games. I don't think so, but I do believe that they got a good chance at a split here. And then we have the schedule really lightens up. So, we'll see what happens. Yeah, the Sacramento Kings, all they do is win. They're like almost in the 2-hole in the West. People aren't giving them much credit. De'Aaron Fox is playing just incredible. So is Sabonis. The Kings are good. They're not gonna be an easy out. I did bet Phil and his buddy $1,000 each. I gave them 20-1. They got the Warriors to win the title. I said John Morant's not going to get injured in the first round, so you guys could come back from 2-1 against them. Then Booker's not going to have a hamstring, so Dallas can upset them. And then Jason Tatum won't have a sprained shoulder in the finals. So not to mention that Draymond has completely disintegrated as a defensive player. And the Warriors had won 5 in a row. Curry comes back. They lost 3 in a row, and it hadn't even been close. So what's amazing is people think the Warriors are still going to win the title. They're only like 1.5 games in front of the Lakers. The West is like a joke. The thing is the West that good, and that's why everybody's around 500, or does the West suck and all the best teams are in the East? I think the West is just that good and very even. And then you have Boston and Milwaukee in the East. A lot of weird things come up this week in poker, and people who follow me on Twitter knows that I call it out for it. The fact that the poker world is embracing Robbie J Lew like she's some star and she's done so much good for poker, and they give her hand of the year. She literally lied like 20 times, then goes on Nick Vertucci's podcast to admit all the lies. Sociopaths lie and lie and lie, and then they go back on another podcast to admit they lied to cover their lies. People say I'm being too hard on her, but there's no doubt in my mind that DM that supposedly Brian wrote to her was written by the same person that wrote the text. There's no way that two people are going to use the word wouldn't not in a sentence from two different tweets. So since she's out changing all her lies, when she comes clean and admits that she wrote that DM to herself from that guy's account, well, then maybe I'll believe anything she says. Me and Phil have been fighting over it. I don't. People, it's crazy that the poker world, knows what they saw and knows all the lies, but then they want to film with her and watch. I just think it's even disgusting with that. Like, watch her crash and burn on these live streams. She lost like 500,000 in the live at the bike streams or whatever it was, and I don't know. Just I can't even imagine seeing what they saw, hearing her lie, admitting that she lied and she's sorry she lied, and then everybody wants to film on a stream with her because the stream is going to get a lot of views because people want to watch her crash and burn, and so-called professionals or big name people in our poker world want to stream with her because the stream is going to get a lot of views and clicks. I don't even get it. I still believe she cheated. Okay, I'm never going to change my mind. I saw the look on her face. I saw the way she acted. She clammed up. I know. Okay, that's just my opinion. I'm not gonna go and call her a cheater in public. I believe my opinion that she was involved in some kind of cheating involved. That's it, And people, it's so weird how people forget things. Like they want like what the government did to the world, to all the governments did to the world with COVID. And then people just forget. They forget the draconian lockdowns. They forget nobody followed the science, the bullshit mask that everybody knew didn't work, you know. And now it's like it never happened, you know. It's pretty crazy. I'm glad that D-Negs, you know, really went hard at Ali Ismarik yesterday, saying the guy's irredeemable, that he's still doing his cheating bullshit. You know, I knew who the cheaters were 4 years ago. I had told Daniel about it, you know, about what was going on in GG Poker. I heard about all the RTA and all the things that were going on. You know, he said they were handling it. And I know it's not, without definitive proof, it's not Daniel. It's tough for Daniel to just come forward. And we talked about that when I kind of jumped on him, you know, when I called him that he was responsible. I mean, I didn't mean it that way, that he was responsible, but, you know, being the face of a company, I at the time felt that, you know, something should have been said, but then he explained that he's not allowed to, and he's not allowed to comment on personal's account. So Daniel's a very honest person, so I take him at his word for that. And he is going out of the way to really stick it to the people who have been cheating. And so that's that. Yeah, well, you know, I'm not on stream to be entertaining. I'm there to have fun, try and win. Poker is not easy in 2023. You can't go in there and just do stupid things and then expect to win. But when I played last time on HCL, I played really good. And so hopefully, you know, that'll happen. Keep playing good. So, you know, I did call. It's so funny, like, when I called out Doug for, you know, he goes, I never said she 100% cheated. I said 98%. I mean, think about that comment. What kind of a narcissistic comment that is? You know, I said 85 to 98. I never said 100, Mike. I mean, I listened how he attacked HCL. And then HCL had Doug Polk come on their show because they want to use Doug for clicks. It's amazing. Like, if somebody attacked my business, the least thing I'd ever do is have them on my show at my business. But the mighty dollar overcomes morals and ethics. Somebody called my show and accused people on my show of cheating, and went out with this crazy narrative. I tell them to get the fuck away and go fuck themselves. I don't need you. But in this poker world, everybody wants to suck each other's ass, suck the shit out of everyone's ass for fucking clicks, likes, and views. And they can live with themselves. I think it's pretty disgraceful. You know what I mean? Yeah, marketing. You market scumbags or market people that, you know. Do you think that if somebody said bad things about me, bad things about my podcast, and everybody's like, oh, look what so and so's saying about Mike and Mike's podcast, that I would have that person come on my podcast and give them a voice? Come on, man. Have morals, you know? People say shit about you and try and hurt your business or try and hurt you as a person, but then and then you have them on because you think you'll get more views if they're on. Come on, man. Give me a break. So, no, I would not take Robbie's call. Okay? The only way I would ever have Robbie on my show is if she publicly admitted that tweet that DM that she claims was sent from Brian, that she wrote that. If she admits that, and she did it because she felt she was boxed in a corner and everyone was wrongly accusing her of cheating, and that's why she did it, because she just felt so boxed in, then I would consider believing her. But to truly believe that that tweet and that DM were not written by the same person, you're just stupid. Okay. I mean, it just was. Even in the internal investigation, the handwriting person said it was like something like 89% probably written by the same person. So if you didn't cheat, why are you going into someone? Why are you DMing somebody and telling them what to write, or going in, getting their password and writing a DM? I mean, if it wasn't for that DM, I would give her the benefit of the doubt. But I mean, just so many lies and spins. I mean, come on, guys. People don't lie and spin and lie and spin, you know? It's just the way it is. You know? It's just it. Anyways, yeah. I'd given the money back, yeah. You know, listen, me and Garrett, we're not friends. We're acquaintances. I'm nice to him. He's nice to me. I was never a big Garrett fan, but I will stick with Garrett on this. And people throw him under the bus. And maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. I believe that he's right. And the guy's been in the poker world for 20 years, and it's amazing how people want to just throw him under the bus. A guy who, whether you like him or not, has been a stand-up person in the poker world. You know, he's just been a good guy. And then it's like some person comes around and, oh, Garrett took her money. Garrett's a piece of shit. Oh, Robbie's great. Hand of the year. She's so awesome. Like, what kind of world are we living in? Give me a break. I mean, she fucking lied like 15, 20 times and then admitted it. Anyways, I don't want to talk about her or give her any more props. So, anyways, that's what's going on in my world. Hopefully the run good will stay running good. Even during my losing streak, except for the mixed game. I mean, all my losses were self-sabotage in the no limit. I'm back to playing my game a little bit tighter, using my image to run some really nice bluffs. I picked off really nice pot yesterday. Well, we're not taking phone calls yet, but we're going to take some in a minute. Anyways, what we're going to do is reach out to everybody, and we're going to take some calls for next hour. We'll talk about baseball's coming up. I haven't watched the World Baseball Classic or whatever the fuck it's called. Haven't watched any of that. I think the pitch clock is ridiculous. So many people like it. I mean, I don't know. I like the. If it's gonna make more stolen bases and more base hits, anything beside strikeouts and home runs, I'm all for it. And it looks like the stolen bases are up, base hits are up. Think everything's up. So we'll see what happens. To me, I think you're cheating the game. I like the mano on mano batter versus pitcher duels, and you kind of take away the duel. That's just my opinion. I mean, I could be wrong. I never cared about the timing of the game. I liked going to a 3-4 hour baseball game because it was just so relaxing. So it doesn't really matter to me. Anyways, let's light up the phone, take some phone calls there, everybody.
The Mouthpiece.
If you'd like to take part in our phone call segment, you can give us a call at 702-329-0480. And if you're a snowflake or a pussy and you don't want to talk to me, you can email me at mouthpiecepodcast@gmail.com. Also, follow me at the Matusow on Twitter for times that our call-in segment will be live. 702-329-0480. Give me a call. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. Poker, sports, politics. Crazy Pralad, my buddy who's lost his mind. Trying to help him. I've been direct messaging with him. And it's like he's so indoctrinated down the rabbit hole. There's almost no hope for him. But I still love the guy, so. Welcome to the Mouthpiece. This is Mike.
Hey, Mike. How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Good, good. I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions about Francisco, the so-called pro.
Yeah.
That guy really gets on my nerves, you know, and I know a lot of other people have said the same thing.
Yeah.
I've watched him play a lot of times, and I really don't think he's that good of a poker player.
He's
and,
not.
you know, he keeps playing in the big game, and I think that's just way above his skill level. Yeah. Are you friends with him? I mean,
I am.
What's the deal with him?
I am. He is a really nice, kind person, okay? And he gets on a lot of people's nerves. I don't know why. The way he plays is unorthodox, and it aggravates people. He was in our private game for a while, and he did well, and a lot of people kind of didn't like him in the game and wanted him kicked out because they didn't like the style that he played. You know, he limps every hand, then back raises really big with nothing, and he has a very unorthodox style. But he's a nice guy. I mean, he's a sweetheart guy. And I do see how he could rub you the wrong way because I know a lot of people he's rubbed the wrong way. And it's more his style of play that rubs people the wrong way. And he's not that good a poker player. But people don't know how to adjust to his style of play. That's all. And, you know, it just is what it is, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that they keep inviting him to play as much as he does in those hustler games, just because he plays really nitty a lot of the time, and but they keep inviting him back.
Yeah, well, you know, he was part of the original when they started the show. He's been real loyal to Ryan and Hustler Casino Live, and he's a good guy. I mean, he's a really good guy. And the thing is what people don't understand is to make streams successful, it's reality TV. It ain't who the best player is, who the worst player is. It's reality TV. And you have to have, somebody's got to be the villain. Somebody's got to be the good guy. Somebody's got to be the hero. Somebody's got to be the one you root against. And what Ryan is great at doing is setting up lineups that he knows what people interact with certain people's personality. And like you say, he's kind of nitty and you kind of don't like him. Well, there's a lot of people that feel that way. And so when you turn into the stream and you're watching, there's somebody there you're kind of rooting against. Like whenever you watch a stream, there's always somebody you're rooting for, rooting against. And it's all about a dynamic. And Francisco brings a lot of that dynamic to a lot of the streams. And so that's, that's kind of why he plays. And he is a super super, super nice guy. Like truly top 1% people in poker. So, he might come across a certain way, but like even when he just jammed 251,000 in the 10,000 or 15,000 against Bill Klein with aces, and Bill Klein had tens and hit a 10, and he said nice hand, $521,000 pot he lost. He didn't whine, he didn't complain. He said nice hand, that's poker. You see, we need more people like that in poker. You know how many people that would have jammed there and got called and a 10 would have hit, well, they would be still talking about it and going. I'd still be going crazy. You see what I'm saying? And
yeah, well, that's true.
And so you have to take that and realize, hey, look at that man. He just lost a $521,000 pot to a billionaire, and he just looked at him and said, "That's the biggest pot I ever played. Nice hand," and that was it. So that shows the character of somebody. So whether you like the way he plays poker or not, he's a good guy, and yeah, he's easy to root against because of the way he plays. Yeah. The way he plays is so unorthodox. And
it is. What does he do for a living, Mike? I heard something about chickens or something.
Yeah, he owns something like that, like processed chicken or something. I don't really know, but poker's not his income. He has plenty of money, and he's just a good guy, So listen, I like him as a person, and when he beats people, I laugh because I know that the people he beats, I'm friends with everybody pretty much on the show. So, it's fun. There's a lot of funny to it, but there's many times there's a lot of people and I root against them, but a lot of times I root for him. So like when he's losing, I kind of root for him, but when he's winning a lot, I root against him. And I think that's kind of like human nature when you're watching poker streams. You don't want somebody just crushing all the time. You don't want to. A lot of people want to buy into kind of like when Garrett was the crusher, right? Oh, I want to watch him crush. It's good. It's good and it's bad. You want a crusher, but you don't. Like right now, Nick Airball's that guy that thinks he's the God's gift to poker. And I like Nick. I met him like 3 weeks ago. We hung out. Super nice guy. Had a lot of fun. But I've said it publicly. I think he's going to go broke. And I don't wish it on him. I don't wish it one bit on him. But he reminds me of people in the mid-2000s that I warned would go broke and that they needed to fix certain things. And every one of them went broke, and I didn't wish it on them. It's when you are gambling at a super high stakes, where your variance is 500K, a million, you're swinging 500 to a million every time you play poker, you're going to run bad, and bad things are going to happen. And when you lose that 400K pot 4 days in a row, and you mentally start to come apart, which is normal. I've seen it happen a lot of times. And Nick has absolutely no care for money in the world, which is important to being a great poker player. But it also could be a downfall if you have, I don't know how much money he has, 20 million, let's just say. I don't even think he has that much, but let's just say he does. I've watched 7, 8 people have 25 million go broke. I mean, Aussie Matt was worth 50 million, and I heard he went broke. You can't play nosebleeds because you think you're better than everybody else, because you're just not. And when the cards go against you playing higher than your bankroll and you don't back off, bad things could happen. But I wish Nick all the best. I like him. I like to fuck around with him on Twitter a little bit because I'm friends with Blank Check Ben, and Ben told me to throw some jabs at him, so I did. So, anyways, I got some other calls. I appreciate you calling in.
Thanks for taking my call, Mike.
And,
I appreciate it.
You have a great weekend. Take care.
You too, bud. Take care. Bye-bye.
you say two guys that'll never go broke, Patrick Antonius and Phil Ivey. They've gone broke. They've gone broke within the last 5-6 years. But they're not broke now. But everybody goes broke in poker.
Hey, Mikey, thanks for taking my call.
What's up, my man? How you doing?
Good. Been a long time since I heard your voice. Nice to hear.
Yeah, I was on a couple weeks ago. Was going to do a podcast last week. My sleep schedule got fucked up. The weeks go by like I don't even understand it. Like when I was growing up, weeks took a long time for a week to go by. Now it just seems like when you're just at home and you're just chilling and playing online, it's just like days turn into weeks, turn into months. And I mean, to think about,
days are long and the years are fast.
I mean, I was at Bay 101 shooting stars when they shut it down when the pandemic, the fake pandemic started, and that was 3 years. 3 years ago. I mean, I remember this.
Yeah,
I remember staying I stayed at the Four Seasons a block away. I remember talking with the Indian guy behind the desk, and I told him I thought the COVID was political and it was all made up. I really didn't know. I mean, that's what I thought at the time. I mean, I still believe that.
I was holding a ticket to Florida State. I forget who they were playing in the ACC tournament, and I was like, they're locked tonight. And then all of a sudden, all the games were canceled. I was sitting in the sports book.
Yeah.
It was pre phone setting.
It's funny as I just saw the video of the guy that's on Minnesota now that used to be the center of Utah when he was touching all the microphones, and then he got COVID, and they shut down the whole
Rudy
league.
Gobert,
yeah. But I mean, that was 3 years ago. You know what I mean?
Totally. And without football season, my whole clock, my internal clock is thrown off. I need to know Thursday night and Monday night. There's a little gap there.
I haven't watched the XFL, but I heard it's pretty fun. Have you watched any?
I've been losing. I've been betting hockey and then occasionally losing NBA instead of XFL. I never know when it starts. There's no advertising push. I hate to say that I'm such a product.
I agree with you. There is really not enough advertising for it. You'd think there'd be more.
Yeah, I don't even know who's on who, where they are, what cities they're even in. Nothing. I don't know. And I watch sports every day, which is pretty remarkable. But baseball, bro, I want your opinion. You're always so spot on with your sports analysis through the gambling world. At least when I talk to you.
If you want me to say the Mets are going to win the World Series, I'm not going to say it. I mean,
no, I want you to think, I like the Orioles. I mean,
100-1. The Mets are banking on a 40-year-old and a 38-year-old pitcher to pitch like Cy Young candidates for them to be competitive. So, good luck. I mean, I don't know. I think there's some kind of
Kurt Schilling and Randy Johnson were pretty old when they did it.
I think there's some new kind of steroid out there that's not detectable. I mean, Verlander had Tommy John surgery at 38 years old, and his first year back off Tommy John surgery, he wins the Cy Young. I mean, either that or the hitters just suck, okay? Like, if you just know how to pitch, the hitters, they just swing at everything. Nobody works the count. Nobody tries to get on base. They swing for a home run or a strikeout. So it's pretty depressing.
The lack of shift, I'm wondering if that's going to help the Phillies this year, because they seem like a team that was most affected by the shift. So that's one reason I'm putting like the Mets.
Did you see what one team did the other day? They
with the outfield.
Well, they moved the left fielder right in the shift. So what? It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It's even better because now you got four.
I heard about it.
You got four in. It's even better because the shift is about stopping the line drives in the infield. The thing is when they had this shift before, I thought it was the funniest thing ever. Every one of those guys should be up there dropping a bunt down the left field, down the third base line, and just jogging to first base. That's what the shift should have done. When I was learning baseball, right? The first thing my dad taught me, the first thing you learn is how to bunt. Okay? You hit off a tee and you bunt. Hit off a tee and you bunt. I mean, can you imagine every time they had a...
that gave your age away more than anything I've ever heard you say. The first thing you learned to do is bunt.
Yeah.
My God.
Isn't that when you were in baseball? Isn't that what the first thing they taught you? I mean, that was the first thing they taught you.
Yeah, I don't even remember getting taught anything though. I'm no athlete myself.
Yeah. So it's like instead of worrying about changing the shift rules, right? Everybody should have just been up there, just dropping a bunt down the right field line, down the left field line, taking your base, then stealing a base. You know. Are that bunting?
How about the pitch clock? That's going to help the hitter. If he does it in his head and he knows the pitcher has to throw the ball right now, like that would be a huge advantage, wouldn't it? Against a fast pitcher?
Think it's good. They want it to be an advantage for the hitters because the hitters suck. The hitters suck. All they do is hit home runs or strike out, and so I think this is I think it's good for the hitters. You know, walks are up.
I actually know why they do. So I read an article because I had to learn. I thought the same way as you, and I still do to a major extent. But I had to hear what the other side was like. Why the people don't do that, and it's because they've concluded to get a run, it would take 4 bunts. You know, successful, and to get a home run's 1 swing. To get like a single, then a double, and then a single. Like any other way of forming runs.
I don't know if you're the leadoff guy and they have the shift on and you drop a bunt down the line and you have the leadoff man on, you're something like 73% to score with a leadoff man on.
They don't shift on leadoff, man.
Okay.
They shift on guys like Bruce Hoskins and Joey Gallo. Like, are they not shifting on like?
How about when there's what if there's a man on first and second and they have the shift on? Now you just drop a bunt. Now you got the bases fucking loaded with 1 out. And men on second and third. Yeah, now a fly ball scores a run. I don't understand it. It doesn't. To me, I never understood it. And if they're going to let where they can move the left fielder between first and second base, or the right fielder between third and shortstop, whatever, then it totally negates from them changing the rule. It's kind of stupid.
They won't. They'll probably just rechange it once you go down that rabbit hole of changing the rules to
First of all,
fit your narratives.
This is the same thing. Like, why does the NBA suck? Because all they do is run up and down the court and shoot 3-pointers.
Okay? It's all exhibition. They don't care about the regular season. It's so annoying.
And it is. And like they talk about load management. Like, nobody should ever sit out ever. If you're not injured, they should play 8. They get paid $40-50 million a year. Those people that take a family of 4 for, let's just say the Lakers come to Miami, they play Eastern Conference teams. They get to see that team once a year. The family's like, yeah, I want to watch LeBron and Anthony Davis. Oh, we're sitting out, load management. You know, 400.
Well, no family is going to an NBA game. I know that. I grew up right out, like 3 miles from the.
There's plenty of families that could go once a year to an NBA game.
I went to every sport.
Yeah, well, most people go to baseball games. You know, it's a lot cheaper. But even then, a baseball game for a family of 4 costs like $280. With, we buy.
Forget parking too.
Yeah, parking's $20. Tickets are like $100, or it depends where you sit. It's like
you can't even get scalper tickets last second because it's all.
I mean, I went to the Brewers and Yankee game, and I got tickets behind third base. Cost me $100. I think it was $102, something like that.
I used to wait till the first inning started, and then I would offer $5 for any ticket, and then I would sneak down.
Yeah, but think about that now. Here's another thing with the pitch clock, right? You know how people would show up by like the third innings, now in LA, right? If you're 20 minutes late, you're half the game's over.
Yeah. So I won't cry for them.
Yeah.
But I like the Orioles at 100-1, Mike. What do you think? I mean, if you watched them last year, that's a team they reminded me like 07 Phillies.
I think the Orioles are a playoff team. I think the Yankees. I think the Yankees are going nowhere. I think it's Houston. I think Seattle.
Seattle's another pick I love.
Seattle's a really good pick. Toronto. I'm not sure if Toronto has enough. I don't think Toronto has enough pitching, but their lineup is really, really good.
Toronto reminds me of the Colorado Avalanche. Like, remember for years we were all saying like the Avalanche are going to win, and then we finally gave up on the Avalanche, and then they won.
Yeah.
Like I have a feeling that's going to be Toronto's like card as well.
Yeah, I mean the East. I mean I like Toronto and Baltimore in the East. I mean I think Boston's terrible. I think the Yankees.
Terrible.
What did the Yankees? The Yankees had no lineup at all last year. What have they done?
Well, they just lost Rondon too.
Yeah. What are they? They have no fucking.
Out for a while.
They got nothing.
And they're counting on Hector. Yeah, they're counting on Hector Harris to repeat that year. I cannot see that happening.
I mean, if Judge,
that guy looks like Baba Booey. You know, he can't go back years like that.
Judge needs 52 home runs minimum just for them to compete. So
I know they hit 60. Yeah. So I agree with you on that.
I think
the good under.
I think the Yankees. I like the Yankees under. You know, I think depends on if the Angels are healthy or not.
The Phillies with Trey Turner. The Phillies got rid of Didi Gregorius and put in Trey Turner from that team from last year. Of course, they're missing Harper.
Harper's out till the All-Star break, so they're going to have to be a 500 team without Harper. That's going to be hard. Harper.
They have Trey Turner now.
Yeah, well, Trey Turner's a great hitter. You know, he's going to bat 320. He's going to be a leadoff man getting on base. Yeah,
well,
I think
Alec Bohm is going to have some opportunities, I think, to hit in a really nice spot in a really powerful lineup.
Philadelphia sports teams last year, they got to the Super Bowl, choked it off. Got to the World Series, choked it off.
The referees, 2 years in a row, they stole the Super Bowl. That was painful this year. I'm calling from Philly.
I mean, listen, the fucking Phillies gave the game away on 2 plays. The strip sack for the touchdown and the punt return. That's it. That's 21 points. They lost by 7. That's 21 points.
Dude, the referee, bro. How could you even... The referee made the worst call in the history of time. You're even going to talk about any... Like, come on, man.
The refs were terrible.
Mike,
look, the refs were terrible when they gave Kansas City the game against Cincinnati, too. I mean, Cincinnati was the best team.
And the year before, they gave the Rams the game against Cincinnati.
Yeah.
They called like 3 horrible calls.
Yeah,
in the red
horrible.
zone.
They had the Cincinnati guy dropped the fucking interception, which would have ended the game. Then they had the 2 fourth-down holding calls. This is a joke. So referees decide everything. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, and it's really getting annoying. And they need to start finding guys for making up. I don't mind if you miss a call. But when you make up a call, there needs to be a real consequence.
I agree. Listen, I'm a diehard Dodger fan, and I think I'm drawing dead. So I knew I was drawing dead in the playoffs last year. I told everybody I was drawing dead, and I was. I just don't think the Dodgers, they did not improve their lineup. The bottom of their lineup sucks. I think they got worse. So... that's just my opinion. I think that San Diego, on paper, if everybody's healthy, is going to be the world champs. That's my opinion. And I hate the Padres, by the way.
But they're that type of franchise that just never does it. You know,
they don't do it.
Like the Jets.
They don't do it. But if they get all 3 healthy, Tatis, Machado, and what's the other guy they brought over?
Yeah, I'm having a brain fart too.
Me too. If all three of them are healthy, they're with the pitching staff they have.
Too. Everybody loves Cron.
Juan Soto. That's right. If all three are healthy with that pitching staff and they improved their bullpen, which was really shitty, they're on paper they're the best team, and they're going to be a tough out. And so we'll see what happens I hate San Diego. I'm a diehard Dodger fan.
You're the man, Mike.
Take care. Thanks for the call.
Before I go, real quick, tell that your listeners know Ottawa Senators are 500 to 1 right now to win the cup.
They could be 5,000 to 1. They ain't winning anything, but they're improving. They're improving, and in 3 years they're going to be a top team. Very good team.
You're going to owe me something when I
I'm going to tell you,
cup, because I'll be out there.
I'm going to tell you right now, the team that I really thought was really terrible and overrated is Vegas, but now they just keep beating every team.
They do.
And you can't say they're beating weak competition. I mean, Carolina came to Vegas, they beat them. They went to Tampa, they beat them. Tampa came to Vegas, they beat them. New Jersey came to Vegas, they beat them. There are only 2 losses. You know, they've had
2 teams playing good right now.
They've had 3 losses since the All-Star break. 2 of the 3
horrible. Colorado's playing horrible.
Yeah, 2 of the 3. Yeah, 2 of the 3 they led by 1 with under a minute to go. So Vegas is, goaltending is going to be their problem, and unless Jonathan Quick. So what? He's the 93rd, second-ranked goaltender in the league out of 93. Okay, unless Jonathan Quick has a rebirth, which is possible. If he does, the Vegas has a shot to win the cup. If he doesn't play like the old Jonathan Quick, they have no chance. They have gold. Yeah,
you got to worry about Edmonton and Colorado. I don't consider serious threats right now. The way
I think Colorado's a threat. Edmonton, they got the 2 best players in the league, but their defense is pretty suspect. So. Vegas has the number 1 defense in the NHL since the All-Star break. So,
and they got rid of Fleury. But you're the man. I don't want to hog too much time.
I'll talk to you later, man. Take care. Peace. 702-329-0480. Give us a call. We're talking poker, sports, whatever you want, politics, whatever you want.
Hello.
Yo, welcome to the Mouthpiece. This is Mike.
Hey, Mike. How you doing, man? This is Brian.
Hey, Brian. What's going on, my man?
Not much. Just playing some online poker right now, watching your stream. But I know you said you didn't. I know you said you didn't want to talk about it, but Robbie Lew. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Have you watched? I'm no one to say, but have you watched her play?
Yeah.
On these other streams.
Yeah.
You played with her. She's a pork chop.
She
is the pork chop at the table. I mean, I don't have her money. I don't know who's giving her money.
Well, she doesn't have any money. I mean, somebody's putting her in.
Exactly. I mean, I don't think she cheated. I think she's just so bad at poker.
Well, listen, I could give it that she didn't cheat. Okay, I'm open to say that, but I'm not open to say that her text and that fake DM from Brian were not sent by the same person. Okay, sure. I saw the text she used the word wouldn't not. I know that DM was written by her to herself. I know that. It's just obvious. Anybody that could read through the line. And what are the chances that the 2 people that are supposedly involved in a cheating scam use the word wouldn't not? Come on, man. I mean, give me a break.
True.
You know.
I believe,
listen, I'm open. It could happen. I'm open to say she's just terrible at poker and she's just bad and whatever, and she didn't cheat. I'm open to that.
Yep.
But I'm not open. Yep. If she admits, well, she was under so much pressure, she was trying to clear her name, so she wrote that DM to herself, because she was freaking out. I'll give her that benefit, but I know those 2 DMs, that text and that DM, were written by the same person. I know it. So until that's cleared up, I'm staying on the cheat side. So. That's it.
She supposedly, I think she either said in one of her streams she was playing in that she's taken legal action against him to get that money back.
Against who?
Garrett? Against Garrett.
Garrett would give her the money back. That's bullshit.
Garrett she read it. I think she was live at the bike and she read the text out loud of what she sent to Garrett.
Yeah.
saying that she wants the money back, or
that's another lie. She supposedly told Garrett to give it to charity, which he did. I mean, go back to what she was saying. She goes, I don't care about the money. If me and Garrett could just give it to charity. And he did. So now she's saying she wants the money back. See what I'm saying? She's all over the place. You can't say one thing and do another. Don't be all over the place. Listen, she went on Nick's podcast, admitted, I lied about this, right? Well, it's like I said to Nick, I'm like, so wait a minute. So she lied, got caught lying. Now she goes on to your podcast to admit I lied about this, and this, and we're supposed to believe her? You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
When everything you say is a lie, why should we believe you? Show.
At least I'm not the only one that notices how bad she plays poker. Because oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing is like she was known to be asking for a 5K buy-in the day before. Then she pretended she was rich. And then they're playing the biggest game. Now she's in there just punting off 500 and something thousand. Like I don't want to say.
I think her Henna mob's like just under $100,000 or something.
I don't know. I don't want to say, I don't want to be sexist or anything, but
no, I understand.
She's somebody's giving
good women poker players.
Somebody's giving her money.
Yep. Yeah, I honestly believe she's sleeping with some dude that's super rich.
Well, you said it. I
putting her in the games.
Hey,
I'm nobody.
Hey,
right?
you're
I'm
nobody. You can say it. You say it. I ain't gonna say it. You know what I mean? Hey, if she is, God bless her. You know what I mean? And whatever it is, that's part of the world. What's
Who is your NFL team? Who is your team? Are you a Raiders fan?
I have never been a Raiders fan. Now, do I like the Raiders a little bit more because they're from Vegas? Yeah, of course. You're always going to like your hometown.
But do you have a team that's like your team?
I have always been a Patriot fan for two reasons. I like the Patriot way. I like that fucking nobody talks to the corrupt media. I like that Bill Belichick tells them, if you talk to the media, you're off the fucking team. Because he knows how corrupt the media is, okay? So I like that, okay? I like the fact that what really made me a big Patriot fan is I think a guy's name was Hill, the guy that ran for 206 yards on Monday Night Football and was cut from the team a week later. I don't know if you remember that.
What year?
Like 4 years ago, he ran. He ran, and he ran for 206 yards, and then he was late for a practice, and so he was benched for the following week, and then he was released from the team the following Wednesday. Okay, they don't take no shit. Nobody's bigger than the team. He's like, look at me, I'm so great. I ran for 206 yards on Monday Night Football, and he was off the team, and not only was he off the team, but nobody in the NFL ever picked him up again because it's not
ironic. Ironic that you're saying though, Mike.
Yeah.
Is they're talking right now that your team's going to have to compete against Aaron Rodgers now, maybe with the Jets.
Well, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets. Okay.
I hope he does.
I still believe that Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Raider next year. I really do.
I was thinking that too. Honestly thinking
the Super Bowl is in Vegas next year.
He's a California kid too.
The Super Bowl is in Vegas next year. He's from Oakland. The Raiders are like two pieces away. They're a fucking good quarterback, one offensive lineman, and one defensive fucking cornerback from fucking having a Super Bowl team. You think the Raiders were a 6-win team last year? They gave away 8 games.
I'm not a believer in their new coach, though, man.
I'm not a believer in them either, but I'm a believer in Aaron Rodgers, and Devontae Adams is threatening to leave after this year if they don't he wants Aaron Rodgers,
Yep.
And so I believe that what are they going to do? The Super Bowl's in Vegas next year. They're not going to sign Garoppolo. They got nobody. Okay? Their only fucking chance is to give up 2 first-rounders for fucking Aaron Rodgers. And then maybe not this year's first-rounder, but because they really need somebody. They need to pick a defensive guy this year. But maybe they give up a 24, 25 first-rounder and a 26 second-rounder because I just think they have to. Aaron Rodgers is not going to agree to go to the Jets and compete in. I
didn't think so.
Why would he? Why would he want to compete? Why would he want to compete with Burrow and Mahomes and the guy from the Chargers? Dude, when there's nobody in the West, if he's gonna have to compete with them, he's going to want to do it with Devontae Adams.
You would think.
I just think
horrible.
I just think that here's the thing. Frisco does not have a quarterback for about halfway through next season. I just think that it's very possible that Rodgers could go there for 1 year, or I really thought Brady was a lock to come to Vegas. Yes. There's a lot of Brady rumors going around, but I'm convinced this time that Brady's retired. I don't care what they're saying, And maybe he's not. I mean, but like he tweeted out the other day, people who think I'm coming back to the NFL doesn't know what it's like to buy your daughter a young kitten. And it goes to show you that, Jonas Gray. Yeah, that was the guy. Jonas Gray ran for 206 yards. Monday Night Football. A week and a half later is off the team.
Nice. I just want Rodgers out of this NFC North. I'm a Vikings fan.
Well, I mean, the Vikings are a disgrace. That team is a mess. That was the worst 13. That was the worst 13-win team in NFL history. It
was the defense, bro.
They had the worst defense. They gave up 5 straight games over 450 yards. Nobody has ever done that. No defense has ever been that bad. They had a historical bad defense. They got
a new defensive coordinator.
What's that? They need 11 new defensive players. They need to draft.
They're going to keep Harrison Smith.
They're going to have to pick up 2 good guys in free agency and draft 2 more in the first and second round. That team is just abomination. And I'm going to tell you right now, Detroit is the fucking favorite to me to come out of the NFC next year. This team, if they made the playoffs last year,
everybody underestimating the Vikings.
Let me tell you something.
Better than what people say.
If Detroit would have made the playoffs last year instead of that dog shit Seattle team, who the fuck knows what it would? That team was on fire.
They were.
Jared Goff couldn't read a defense his first 3 years of his career. All of a sudden, he's learned how to read a defense, and Jared Goff was the best quarterback in the NFC the last 8 weeks. He went 7-1 with the highest QBR in the league. Detroit's a fucking monster.
Everyone dogs Cousins too, man. But
Cousins sucks.
I hated it. I hated Cousins when we got him, and I hated him until last season, and I kind of got on board. He's kind of disrespected.
He's a loser. Can't win the big game.
I agree.
Where would the Vikings? The Vikings would have won 4. Vikings would have won 4 games if it wasn't for Richard Jefferson.
Hold on though, Mike. You gotta admit this. If the Vikings would have had a real media core middle defense of the NFL, the Vikings would have made one more. You know what I mean? They would have won a playoff game.
San Francisco would have won the Super Bowl with a fucking 7th round, 3rd string quarterback if he didn't blow out his arm in the first possession of the game.
Sure.
But see, I blame San Francisco's loss. I knew when Aoki said we saw the tape to expose the Philly defense, I knew it wasn't sour grapes. I knew he was telling the truth. And fucking Kansas City exposed it. All their big wins and all those great defensive stats by Philly were against under 500 dog shit teams. And to think about it, if the coach for Frisco challenges that opening drive, fourth down play. There's no touchdown. They get the ball at the 40, and the quarterback never gets his arm injured, and they probably win the game. I mean, that game was 10-7 with a minute to go in the half when he threw the pick that led to, what was it? I'm sorry, it was 14-7, which led to making it 21-7. If you don't throw that pick, I mean, it's 14-10 at halftime, and that's with a fourth-string quarterback. I knew the Eagles weren't that good. I had Kansas City in the Super Bowl.
I did too. I had them too. I'm a Chiefs. Chiefs are my AFC team. My old man was from KC.
But listen, San Francisco is going to have to do something. They don't get the guy they gave up all those draft picks back till about week 6. Purdy's out for.
They're saying
Purdy got his operation yesterday, and he's out for 6 months. They said
8 months. I heard.
I heard 6. So 6 from yesterday.
They were saying Thanksgiving, like he'd be ready.
So what is Frisco going to do the first 8 weeks of the season? Yeah, nobody.
I know.
You know.
Hey, they can have Kirk Cousins, and we'll take Trey Lance. I'm down with that.
Trey Lance has shown absolutely nothing. He's shown nothing. You know, but how could he show anything? He played 8 games in college, and he's played 4 games in the NFL or 6 games in the NFL. How could he show anything?
Right? True. It's, you got to gamble, though. Sometimes you got to gamble.
I mean, the Rams are a mess. Arizona's a mess. Seattle's, they got all those draft picks for Russell Wilson. So if they hit on him, they're going to be a threat to Frisco.
Yeah, what are the Bears going to do? Are they going to get rid of their number 1 pick? Are they going to trade?
Of course they are. Them getting the number 1 pick, now they're going to get a lot. They're going to be able to rebuild that defense with that trading down. Yeah. And the thing is they could trade down and down. They could trade down to number 4, get Carter, right? And they could get like 2 more draft picks. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to get like 3.
Carter, the quarterback Carter, right?
The corner, the guy from Georgia, the defensive guy, the guy that's in supposedly legal trouble for street racing. I don't know. He'll be fine. But the Bears, I was not a Justin Fields believer, but after what I watched last year, I'm a Justin Fields believer now.
He's young. He'll come around.
The Bears, he's
athletic.
See, that's the thing now with the Bears having this number 1 pick. They could turn that into that defense could get fixed real fast.
I know.
Real fast.
I know.
You know?
That worries me.
and listen, look how good Jordan Love looked in the games he played last year. They say he's ready.
The Packers, their reign of being on top.
I disagree.
Is done.
I disagree.
If
they get 2 first and a second for fucking Rodgers, they just need to build. They just need an offensive. I don't even know if they need an offensive lineman. They need a receiver and maybe one They have the highest paid defense in the NFL. You know,
the next 5 days are going to be very interesting because that's the
Detroit. It's going to be interesting who Detroit goes for in free agency because if they're able to fix that defense, by the way, that Detroit defense, except for like 1 game against Carolina, which was the 3rd road game in 4 weeks. In frigid cold, which is why I knew they'd lose that game. Their defense had improved, and I love that coach. Anyways. Hey, man, thanks for the call, and we'll talk to you.
Take care, brother.
You got it. Take care. All right, I had a lot of sports talk today. Not really much poker, not much politics. That's good. Next year's football is going to be good. Hey, John, your Dallas Cowboys suck. Sorry to hear it. You have Dick Prescott. He got outplayed by a 7th round pick rookie. Outplayed your boy Dick Prescott. Sorry, Dick Prescott blows. All right, 702-329-0480. Do we have any other calls? No. All right. So we've been going at it for about an hour and a half. If you want, we can take one more call, 702-329-0480. And we can talk about what you want. So poker's been good. I'm grinding back right now. I have about 117,000 more to make up by the World Series. to get to my goal. I should hopefully win more than that, but I'm not greedy. Oh, welcome to the Mouthpiece. This is Mike.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Hey, man, just was watching. It's Gary from Wisconsin. Talked to you before.
Hey, Gary. How you doing, my man?
Good, bro. I disagree with the Aaron Rodgers thing. Aaron Rodgers, no way he goes to the AFC West. Why does he want to battle Mahomes?
I agree, but
Herbert?
I agree, but he wants to play with Devontae. He said it.
Yeah.
He said Devontae is the greatest receiver he's ever played with. And
agreed.
You saw how the Packers struggled without him. You know?
Oh, absolutely. But the Packers, and I'm not buying the Detroit thing either. Packers had a down year. The guy with the Viking thing, he's out of his mind.
Yeah, he's out of his mind.
Terrible. Their defense is terrible.
Agree.
I mean,
Agree.
they're the worst team in the division.
Agree. They were handed, I couldn't tell you how many games. You know.
Oh, for sure. All that last minute bullshit wins and.
I mean, the Buffalo. They needed the guy to drop the snap in the Buffalo game. They needed the punt return in the New England game. I mean, Mac Jones put 450 up on him.
Right. Yeah. Right.
The first Detroit game, because I had Minnesota in Survivor, was the miracle of miracles. Detroit led by 10 with like under 2 minutes to go. I mean,
you got knocked out of Survivor on that?
No, I survived to get to the end of the year to make some money from that game. But they were terrible. They were horrible. They weren't even competitive towards the end of the year. You know?
No, not at all. I mean the first round playoff game, the wild card game, was the easiest money I made all year.
I know. Detroit.
Play against Minnesota, first round of the playoffs, easiest money you're
Detroit
ever gonna make.
offense is unstoppable, and if they're a couple defensive players away with a great coach. I mean, Detroit's going to win that division next year. I don't know how they're not going.
I don't know if I'm buying that. You know.
Well, who's going to win the division? There's no way that Jordan Love's going to win the division in year one, maybe year two.
No, and you know what? I'm
okay, so you don't think you agree with me, but you agree with me. Green Bay's not going to win the division. You agree with me. Minnesota's not going to win the division. You agree with me that Chicago is a couple years away. So what does that leave? That leaves Detroit.
Here's the thing, though, Mike. I'm not convinced Aaron Rodgers is leaving.
He's leaving. Okay? He's done.
And if Aaron Rodgers, here in Wisconsin, we want him to leave. We want the draft pick.
Well, everybody wants him to leave. They came out, the ownership, that they're ready to move on with Jordan Love.
So do you think? So now that Chicago traded away the number one pick, I mean,
they're going to pick up three. They're going to pick up three great defensive players. They're going to pick up the best player in the draft.
Right. They want a defense. They're definitely going to.
They're going to get Carter, and they're going to get 2 more picks for him. They're going to get 3 picks for that number one.
Right, and I'll tell you something else.
Chicago could win next year. Sure.
Right. I'm not counting Justin Fields out. I mean, if he gets some receivers down there,
I agree.
Dangerous.
Okay, so here's another team. How about Jacksonville next year with Calvin Ridley? I mean,
I'll tell you,
Jacksonville, they had Kansas City. If that guy don't fumble the ball at the 3-yard line, it's a 3-point game.
I would not sleep on Jacksonville. They got Peterson for their coach down there. He's the real.
They got the second best quarterback, third best quarterback in the NFL. This Lawrence is unbelievable.
Yes,
Take away the first half against who they lost. They beat San Diego, the Chargers. Take away that first half, and his last 7.5 games, he had the highest QBR in the AFC. I mean, Lawrence is the real deal.
You got to wipe out his rookie season because Urban Meyer was a joke.
Correct. I mean, to me, and I hate Kansas City, but Kansas City gets all those draft picks from the Hill trade. They've got like next 2 years like 6 number 1 picks or 5 number 1 picks. I mean, this is a Super Bowl team with all those rookies, with all these draft picks. I mean, as much as I hate Kansas City, this could really be a dynasty. I mean, they could win. Sure. They could win 3 or 4 in a row here. I mean, they really can. Because I didn't think they had any chance last year, and I lost money, going against them. I was convinced that the Bengals were the best team in the NFL, and they were. They gave the why does the coach? How does he punt the ball to the middle of the field? Yeah. They couldn't get. They're missing every receiver. They couldn't get a first down. I mean, the Bengals had the game won 10 times.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt, that, I don't know. Like you were talking about before, the NFL, it was going to be Kansas City's year. I mean, they wanted Kansas City in the Super Bowl.
Well, they want another Tom Brady. They want Mahomes to be this generation's Tom Brady. I mean, Tom Brady got all the calls in the day, if you remember.
Oh, for sure. Hey, you were talking earlier. You must have been in Milwaukee then for the Brewers-Yankees game.
Yeah, I was in Milwaukee. Yeah, 2 weeks ago in the season, I was there. Yeah, I was there for like a whole week.
Oh, nice. I live 15 minutes from Miller Park, American.
Yeah, my friend has a condo on the water, so he has a boat. We just go out his back door and we go on Lake Michigan and we cruise around. We go down the middle there where the Milwaukee Bucks play. Yeah. We go to Miller. It's just everything's just right there on the water. I like it down there in Milwaukee. It's nice.
Yeah. Next time you come out, man, let it be known. I'll take care of you.
Yeah, well, I'll announce on the podcast when I'm coming out. I'm probably coming out here probably either the end of April or the beginning of April. I'm not sure. To that area, and then I'm coming back at the end, right before the World Series. So, I'll let you know.
Actually, I'll be coming out by you for the World Series. Actually,
yeah. All right, my man.
Maybe I'll run into you out there.
Sounds good. Yeah.
All right, Mike.
You take care. Thanks for calling. I appreciate it.
Yep. Bye.
Peace. Yeah, I mean, people ask what's wrong with baseball, and you know what my answer is? They're the only sport that doesn't have a salary cap. Every team in the fucking sports, before the season starts, you believe your team has a chance to win the championship. And in baseball, you got 6 teams that are going to be in the playoffs. And it's a travesty. Welcome to the Mouthpieces, Mike.
Hey, Mike, how's it going? Just real quick.
Sure.
I always been like an advocate of free speech. I'm 44.
Cool.
And so I'm always for, hey, post whatever you want. You're crazy. I don't care.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't be arrested, right? Okay. Now, the UK, I don't know if you know, has certain laws where if you say something maybe politically incorrect or whatever, they've actually arrested people. Did you know that?
I saw it. Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay. Now,
they went to somebody's house to arrest them for saying something negative about. They called it hate speech or something on the internet. I saw that. These people are crazy.
But I'm starting to reconsider that opinion because of the Prahlad Freeman, Daniel Cates, stupid ass.
Yeah.
We gotta lock this guy up. This Prahlad is a troublemaker, shit starter, and if he might change my mind, this motherfucker just goes in, throws these bombs, and just pisses everybody off, including myself.
Well, I mean, okay, so I'm going to tell you something about Prahlad. Me and him we've always been good friends, okay? I mean, we're politically completely opposite, and we were DMing, and as recently as a couple weeks ago, and he's like, oh, I know, Mike, you're a good guy. And even though we're opposite and we disagree politically, I know you're a good heart or whatever, right? And we're talking and everything's normal. And then he just goes into this crazy DM fucking hatred towards me out of nowhere. I'm like, dude, I'm the only guy that fucking loves you and has your back. I'm like, what? Why are you coming after me now? And everything he says is racist, transphobe, just like he does. There is no, you can't like like anybody could call my show that disagrees with me, and we can have a debate about any issue, and I will listen to them. With Prahlad, he's so far out down the rabbit hole. He's like QAnon on the left. He's funny. Yeah. He's left of Justin Bonomo. I mean, can you even imagine? I mean, and he's so just
yeah. I'm reading the thread, and basically Daniel Cates. I follow him, and he throws out occasionally some kind of, I would say, like wacky-ish.
Well, because he's autistic.
Hard to understand. He said
he's
something
autistic.
About like he wants to start a truth forum for truth tellers. Then this random person who I guess was trans said something like, "I don't want to join cults. Is this a cult?" Okay. Then Daniel Cates said something like, so you have to speak to your truth. If you're 6 foot, and you're not 6 foot, then all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, like I don't think Daniel he
wasn't even he didn't even know she was trans. Whatever.
Right.
And then, I saw the whole thing. Prahlad goes into this crazy tirade.
And now it's devolved into like it's basically like the software Y guys are on there. They're calling Berkey as racist, and like.
Dude, they called Berkey. They called Berkey a right winger. He's about 85 degrees left. I mean, and I love Berkey. You know, I don't care what you are politically, as long as you're a good person. But when you start calling Berkey a right winger, that means you have completely lost track of reality.
It's almost like he's doing like. I understand, like he's trying to do. He's like trying to fight for his cause. Okay, well that's good and whatever. But like he's almost like, to me, like turns people off.
Right.
Because I'm not willing to like listen to some of his things. But no, I have to block him because he just gets me pissed off by like throwing out these bombs.
Right. And so I told him. See, like I don't want to say too much about his business, but he's struggling right now. And I said, listen. I said, give Daniel a call. He knows you. You're both vegan, but don't play the victim. I said, make sure call him out. He'll probably help you out, but don't play the victim. Tell him, you're going through some tough times, whatever, and the next thing you know, I'm like, hey, did you talk to Daniel? Fuck him. He told me I was fucking crazy and schizo. Fuck him. He must own part of those poker streams that are corrupt. And he starts going off in the DM on Daniel. And I'm just like, dude, I told you, don't play the victim, okay? He doesn't even know what that he sounds like a victim, okay? When you start talking oppressed, right, you're playing the victim. Nobody wants to help people who play the victim, And when you pick smart people like Matt Glantz or me or Daniel or people that really care about him. Even like Matt, I was talking with Jeff Madsen. They were best friends, him and Prahlad. They used to do raps together. And Prahlad blocked him. And won't speak to him because and it's his way. It's not like I'm an activist and this is my cause, fuck you. That's his way. It's not, okay, let me hear your point of view. I'll hear my point of view. And you speak. He just it's fuck you, you racist motherfucker. And you ever heard the old saying, there's nothing more, nobody's more racist than a white liberal, okay? That is telling everybody that they're racist. Because what the fuck do they know? You know what I'm saying? And he literally is like raging. It's like he doesn't even, when I send him stuff, like he'll say, oh, this is racist, right? And he'll send me this article. And I'm like, dude, that's not even like, that thing's chopped to make it look racist. I go, here's the real video. There's nothing racist about it. Did you watch it? Fuck no, I don't watch none of that shit from that motherfucking racist. I'm like, what? Dude, he don't want even, they get stuck in their own truths. It's like, if somebody tells me, Mike, you're wrong, I'm going to show you this to prove you're wrong, I will say, send it to me, okay? I have a friend, Ashley, we're best friends. She's a liberal on the left, And she sends we talk out our disagreements all the time. Now, am I right 80% of the time? Yeah. Does she tell me, "Oh, Mike, you're I'm kind of worried. Everything I thought about reality my whole life might be different," because I show her the truth. Now, but when she shows me the truth, which is like 25% of the time, I say, "Yeah, you're right. I was wrong." You know, it's like
truth is subjective. But
yeah.
like what I would say is, do you know of like see at first, like he started like he was like the initial troll, right? He was on ESPN when he was like claiming that guy stole his chip. Mm-hmm. I loved him after that. I thought he was like this biggest funny kind of like troll shit starter. But no, I can't tell if he was like trolling this entire time, which I kind of respect. You know, you can't troll people.
Who's that?
But I just think he's just Prahlad.
Oh yeah.
Well, he was on the clip.
Do you remember when him and Jeff Lissandro got in a big fight?
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Well,
he says, "I'm gonna knock your head off."
Yeah, that was the start of Prahlad's like becoming hatred towards people. Like he worries, talks about hate. He has more hate in his he doesn't have hate in his heart, because I know he doesn't. He's got a pure heart. But the things he says are full of such hate, and he doesn't understand it. And when if you try and explain to him that I understand your cause and I like your cause, but it's the way you present yourself with your cause that turns everybody off. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't want to hear that.
Yeah.
And see, the people that are telling him that, Prahlad, you need help, you're crazy, you need help. He's like, fuck you, fuck all the white fucking rich poker players, they're fucking racist. You know, when every single person that loves you, that are close to you, are telling you, bro, you need help. If every single person told me, Mike, you need help, it comes a point that, yeah, I need help. Like, you know, I'll give you an example. Like my mom, my brother, even my ex-girlfriend, they used to say, "Oh, I'm a certain way, and you know, I'm selfish, and I don't listen, and I talk over people, and I'm this and I'm that," and I'm just like, "Oh, that's just my mom and my girlfriend. Fuck them. I don't," you know what I'm saying? But then I met this girl, and I hung out with her for 3 days, and after 3 days of hanging out with her, she said the exact same thing that my mom and my ex-girlfriend said. And this girl doesn't know me. So that's when I said to myself, oh my God, I'm like, I need to work on myself. You know, the thing she just told me, this is what my ex-girlfriend and my mom been telling me for years. So that was like a wake-up call. When somebody you don't know, that knows you for 2 days, tells you, hey, Mike, you got a problem. These are things you need to work on. Now, all of a sudden, hey, I'm going to work on those and try and become a better person. You see what I'm saying?
There's definitely like a certain type of personality. Like there's crazy people on the left and right.
Of course.
What I was going to say is the thread then like devolved into like, is poker racist? Now, my viewpoint is sort of like, I always thought there was a beauty in poker because it's like, everybody's equally trying to fuck each other. You know what I mean? There's like no race. Money has no race.
None.
It's like it. I thought that's like it's kind of like the beauty of it. Like you basically are like, you know, I mean, there's certainly like maybe some sexism involved, but like I never, you know, had widespread where. You know,
a lot. And with Prahlad, when we were arguing, he's like, "Yeah, well, you were able to get back on top because people helped you." I go, "Nobody helped me. I had $500 fucking dollars. Okay, I turned $500 into the money I have today, and that was in 2017. Don't tell me not one person helped me. I fucking quit playing the fucking victim and went and worked. You start off, you go back to the $1-2 game, and you make $200-300. You then fucking build it up to 1,000. You take a shot. You fucking work and you work your way up. You don't just get handed it to you. You know what I'm saying? I didn't just get handed it to me. I worked my ass off in fucking debilitating pain fucking every single day for the last 4 years to get where I'm at today. You know? It's well, you're white, so people help you. I don't give a fuck what color you are. You want to fucking succeed?
You're part of the patriarch.
You know? Listen, I don't want to hear you're oppressed, okay? You're 18 years old. You work 2 jobs for the next 3 years, and you fucking live in the lowest income you can. Now you're 21. You put away $30,000. Now you fucking put it down. You go to college. Now you're fucking get out of college. You get a $200,000 a year job. Okay, you're 28 years old. By the time you're 33, you're a millionaire. Fuck you with your oppressed bullshit. Work hard. That's it. Work.
Yeah.
Nobody gets rich.
Yeah.
You know, I love Kevin. Kevin Hart has the greatest fucking quote in his office. Everybody wants to be rich and famous, but nobody wants to work hard for it. You ever seen that quote? It's right in the middle of his office. And that's the bottom line. Fucking Kevin Hart's the hardest worker in fucking Hollywood. Guy fucking does comedy specials, puts out 2 movies a fucking year, raises fucking 3 kids. Give me a break. Stop with the bullshit. Go out and work hard. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Why me? I did that from 2014 to 2019. Why me? Why my injury? Well, how did this happen to me? Why would God do this to me? And I played the victim for 5 fucking years. Then I fuck this shit. And I fought and fought and fought through fucking the pain every fucking day. Because there ain't such thing as fucking victimhood and feeling sorry for yourself. Go out and work. Period.
That's a good advice. I mean, there's something about the archetype. Like, I kind of like wrap my head around like the craziest of Trumper versus like the craziest of the left side.
Okay, so it's easy. It's an easy fix. Okay, I haven't smoked pot since August 26th, but when I used to smoke pot, I used to see things, right? So you got to look at it this way: on each side, the left and the right, they're 15% crazies. Okay, so even if you're not politically. Okay, 15% are crazy on different sides of the spectrum. The rich side, the poor side, the left side, the right side. Okay, that means on each side, 35% is truth. And so you got to figure out of the 35% that you think is right on the left, or the 35% that you think is right on the right, is the poison and the fruit. Okay? Now, if you're able to have open dialogue and everybody's able to have open dialogue and show their points of view, you're going to find that half the things that I think are crazy on the left are true, and half the thing the left thinks are crazy on the right are true. And then you're going to come up with because we're not anywhere close to divided as people think we are. It's the media that divides us. The media that fucking suppresses the speech, suppresses dialogue. They want you to be an activist on the left or the right. You have to find the fruit and the poison. And that's how the world works. And when social media came along and it hooked the entire world together, you got to realize that in every single country, that half the people born are left and half the people born are right. Our brains are programmed a certain way from birth, and you know that now because the social media hooking us up has shown that the whole world is split down the middle.
It's funny because like now that you have social media, you're like now you find these other crazy motherfuckers that believe the same way that you do, and I just don't know how we get I just don't know how we go forward in America. We need like some sort of like Arnold Schwarzenegger, some sort of like guy who just has kind of respect on both sides and just like blows just brings everybody together because
what do you think?
Going, it's just
what does that show? That's Elon Musk, bro. Elon Musk has been the left hero for every year until last year when he said, "Hey, you motherfuckers are crazy." He's like, I haven't moved. And then now they think Elon Musk is a right-wing extremist because he's just a normal Democrat liberal that is now considered right-wing extremist because the Democrats have moved so far to the left that they're insane. And he's called them out for it. You know?
He's like target number one on the left.
Yeah, and this guy, what does that show you? It shows you the power of media. The media said, Elon Musk good. Elon Musk save world. Okay? Up until fucking a year and a half ago, right? Then everybody was like, Elon Musk is the greatest. He's the best for humanity. Now all of a sudden, Elon Musk comes out and says the Democrats have lost their mind, vote Republican, and he's Publican enemy number one. And he put out that little stick cartoon. This is me, 2008. And he doesn't move. And he shows how they just went crazy to the other side. Like they gave a National Women's Day.
Yeah.
They gave the award to Woman of the Year to a trans person. What are they doing? It's like they're erasing women.
She was like the health for like a health administrator or something like that.
I'm not anti-trans. I love everybody, but Matt Walsh made a good point. He said straight out, you brought the fight to us. We were very accepting of you. We are accepting of your sick or whatever twisted what's going on in your brain. But when you start telling us we have to be trans and he, she pronouns, and we have to be this, or we're transphobic. I mean, did you see that?
Yeah. What about this question? Okay, I got a question for you real quick.
Go ahead.
Okay, so would you, you're 3 drinks in. This is just, okay. Your choices are on the left column, 360 girl who's sloppy, or Asian lady boy.
You're talking about what Andrew Tate said about Hulk Hogan or Megan Fox, right? But the truth of the matter is like, I mean, what you're attracted to doesn't mean that, you see what I'm trying to say? It doesn't mean that, you know, if you have sex with a guy, you're bisexual or gay. That's just it. There isn't, you know, there's no other two ways about it, whether it's an ugly girl or not, you know, or a pretty guy.
And one real quick thing about Elon Musk before I leave here is that
sure.
I think like people that are kind of like in engineering fields or whatever, like that's kind of like, why aren't we looking up to this motherfucker? He's like trying to go in and saying, take all these high level managers out, make it an engineering first, work your ass off. How is that not something that is celebrated? That's what blows my mind. It's
because
like this guy's basically trying to go in there.
They don't want it. They don't want hard work celebrated. They want to say, "Hey, you don't have anything. Fucking vote for us. We'll give you a welfare check. We'll give you free this and free that." That's what they do for power. They don't want you to be in shape and be a man and take care of a wife. If they keep you weak and feminized and not working, that's how they get you to vote for them. That's why they keep the African American Latinos uneducated and oppressed, because they fucking need their votes. If they cared about African Americans and Latinos, they'd pay teachers 3x to go teach in those communities. Instead, they keep them down. That's why the border's wide open, so the drugs flow into the African American, and you keep them uneducated, hooked on drugs. They need to survive. The only way to survive is on government funding. There you go. And or they go to jail or prison, where you get 3 meals a day and a roof over your head and you're not freezing. You know how many people, like when I was in jail for 6 months, said, "Oh, I'm never coming back," and they were back in like 2 weeks. You know, most of them that go out, when they leave jail, they don't have a court. That's why when I left jail, I was like, I remember I said we should come up with some kind of bill where you make like $1 an hour or even 25 cents an hour, and then when you get out, you have enough money for an apartment and bus fare. You know what I mean? But they get let out of jail when they're dead broke. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to go rob a store to get money for food over their head or a roof over their head. How could people not go back to crime when you get out of jail and you have no money or a roof over your head?
Yeah, it's crazy times, and I just think like you go to basically you take your average like graduated high schooler these days, and you ask them like basic questions. Like, I mean, I was kind of like, I was like top 15, 20%. I'm not like some super smart guy, but like you just take like your average high schooler now. I know like it's like they can't answer like basic questions.
They don't even.
And it's kind of depressing.
They don't even know who George Washington is. They don't know who Ronald Reagan is. They don't know who. They don't even know what they don't even know what the capital of the United States is. They're just like the education's so bad, and it's being done on purpose. You know, that's what COVID. COVID was no threat to the kids, but they kept them out for 2 years out of school so they could put a whole generation in the stupid mode to vote Democrat. I mean, if you keep people broke and dependent on government, they have no choice. You know, just look at the Democrat Party of the '60s. Look at the speech that Kennedy said about we need strong men and women. You know, now it's like, no, we need a bunch of weak pussy fucking trannies. You know, the country's lost, man. It's like,
yeah, I get depressed sometimes, and so maybe it's just social media messing with my mind.
It's social. Stay off social media, dude. Go out and look outside and fucking, and you'll enjoy the world, man. That's all.
All right, man. That's all I had to say, and just have a good night.
You got it. Bye. You know, it's funny, Barry, you talk about dropping vials of COVID. Did you see the inner text from the people in Europe where they talked about when we're going to release the next strain of COVID and scare the shit out of everybody? See, go do your work. Go look it up. UK minister caught on Telegram messaging about new strains of COVID. Welcome to the Mouthpiece. This is Mike.
I've been here before, Mike.
What's up, buddy? What are you doing?
I had a question. I don't know if anyone asked you, but what are your thoughts on the recent cheating allegations on like online poker?
Well, I've known about it for years. Okay, I have been a big online poker advocate for big stakes for 10 years. Okay, online poker, the biggest tournament online should be $100 fucking bucks. The biggest cash game online should be fucking 2.5 with a fucking $200 buy-in, and that's it. Okay, they go and fucking murder people at 7-Elevens for $40. When you opening up for people to use computerized software to steal millions of dollars, what do you think they're going to do? It's when it's that easy to do. Okay, yeah. I've known about this for years. You know, I've been a big proponent. Why does online poker giving away bracelets? Why do they have big buy-in tournaments? Why does any online site have big buy-in tournaments?
And so many of them bracelets. It's like fucking useless at this standpoint.
It's like completely useless.
Winner every day.
It's a joke. They don't even care. It's worth the World Series of Poker the brand is getting so diluted that it's going to be a point where people don't even care if they show up. You know, I mean, I love the people who run it. I love Jack. I love Ty. You know, but there has to be. You can't just completely dilute and destroy your brand. I mean, if you want to say, hey, we're running online bracelet against us, the World Series, but doesn't count towards your World Series of Poker stats, only counts towards your World Series of Poker online stats, I'm fine. But like all these kids come for the summer, right? Like 10 of them, 21, 22 years old, they all rent a house. And they're all playing the WSOP online events. And when they get deep, they're all in the same room, helping each other out, watching the guy, looking for their tendencies, okay? Telling everybody everything they see. And they're all in the same room, okay? That's fucking cheating. That's not fucking poker. And they're all doing it. Even Jeremy Osmus, when he played the big 7,700 online event, and the guy he played head up had like 1,800 in online winnings, right? And he said, dude, there's no way this guy played absolutely perfect. And he find out 6 months later he's been kicked off WSOP and he was cheating and someone was playing his account. I mean,
and a lot of these guys are getting blacklisted. I don't want to name drop, but I'm sure
buddy, you know. I know all of them. I know. Not only do I know all the names, I know all the names that aren't being said. okay? And the people who I know that aren't being said need to be said, okay? And they need to be blacklisted completely from poker. Now, I'm a believer in everybody deserves a second chance. I believe that these people should have a 5-year ban, okay, 3 to 5 year ban, and then they're allowed back with probation for 2 years. If they do anything wrong, they're kicked for life. Because I always believe in second chances. I don't believe in cancel culture.
I do too.
Just remember, do you remember Steve, what's the guy, that pitcher from the Dodgers that was on cocaine? They gave him like 5 chances. Steve.
I know who you're talking about,
yeah.
but
they gave him 5 chances. Nowadays, if you say something on the internet when you're 14 years old and they find out about it when you're 21, your life's over. I mean,
you're getting canceled.
Who wants to live in a society that you don't give somebody a second chance? I mean, I don't. I mean, even I have a friend that's been blacklisted out of the World Series, and we've tried to get him back in because what he did, they won't let him back in. He hit a dealer, right? The dealer put his hands on his card and he smacked her hand, and it was after he lost a pot, and he was blackballed from the World Series for life. And we've tried to get him back in, and he's a good man. He's really better, gotten older. It's been like 12 years. He's really bettered himself, and I just believe in second chances, But
you're talking to a guy who I'm not going to say what site, but I did serve a ban on a poker site a couple of years ago. It's because I made an account. I was not of age, but that's not the point. The site was like, listen, we know what's going on. You're winning these tournaments. Fair and square was just the fact that I was like a year underage or something like that.
Yeah.
They gave me about a 10-month ban, and now everything's good to go, So I do also believe in second chances.
I mean, listen, Bonomo did a lot of bad stuff, and he got a second chance, And listen, I believe in second chances. Jared Blesnick, he got a second chance. A lot of people got a lot of second. But nowadays, it's like, listen, I know all the people that are cheating. Everybody in the poker world knows them. And they should be banned. And there should be a 3-year ban. They shouldn't be allowed to play any tournaments in the world. And then maybe after 3 years, when they're broke and they have no income and they self-reflect, and you give them a chance. I don't believe in banning people or canceling anybody for life. I mean, I look back, I think about this kid that got drafted in the 4th round in the NHL, and he bullied some kid when he was 16 years old or 15 years old, right? And then he was drafted, and then they released him. And then the Boston Bruins were going to sign him 2 months ago. And then they found out about his bullying, and then and people were all up in arms over it. And then now this guy is a world-class hockey player. He's never going to get a chance because he bullied somebody online when he was 15. I mean, come on, man. It's ridiculous. I mean, unless he killed somebody, I mean, he's already admitted that he has apologized 100 times, that he was a kid. Think about when you're 14 and 15. We used to do all kinds of pranks. We used to throw dog shit at people's houses. I mean, we were kids, man. I mean, I don't even understand. I'm so against I believe on second chances, but I also believe to give a second chance, you must admit when you've made mistakes. You must admit, Like I said, I'll give Robbie Lew a second chance when she admits that she was involved in writing that DM to herself. When she admits that, I'll give her a second chance. That's about it.
Yeah, and that's what it is. I do believe in second chances.
But I agree. No second.
Where's the integrity?
No second chances for killers. I agree. You kill somebody. No. You kill, but see, there's another thing. That's another slippery slope too. If you're 15, 16, 17 and you kill somebody, should you be in jail till you're 80 years old? No, but 20 years, you get out at 37. You're still a young man at 37. You know what I mean? Well, if you're an adult, if you're over the age of 25 and you kill somebody, I don't believe you should ever be allowed out. You know better by then. You know?
Nope.
Listen, all they have to do is an eye for an eye. You steal, you cut off a fucking finger. You steal again, you cut off your fucking hand. You rape somebody, you get castrated. It's a real easy world. You kill somebody, you get the death penalty. Stop being a bunch of pussies, man. That's it.
It's just, for me,
how we
it's
make
like,
the world a better
where the
place.
hell is the integrity, especially with a game like poker that's full of just, I would like to assume, higher IQ people.
Well,
it's like, why
it definitely has
that?
higher IQ people, because I didn't know that I was that high IQ until COVID came around. And I realized that 80% of the people around me were dumber than shit. And everything I said about COVID ended up being true. Everything I've ever said on this podcast that people called me conspiracy theorist ended up being true. And I promise you one day it's going to come out that fucking Fauci, not only did he create gain-of-function research on COVID, but they're the ones that released it, the United States. They were involved in it. You'll see. It'll happen one day. They're already talking about it now. Have you been watching it? You know?
I mean, all these guys behind all that pharmaceutical crap are living on fucking hills right now. You know what I mean?
Look, did you see what the what's it called actor said when he did Saturday Night Live? He said, think about it. All the pharmaceutical companies, the biggest drug cartels get together and they tell you all to take a drug, and every single one of you do it. And then they tell you got to take it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times a year. That's called a drug dealer. You know? What was it?
Yeah.
What was it? Woody Harrelson said that on the opening on Saturday Night Live. You know, it was unbelievable. Do you know that they have internal emails taught in 2019 about how they had this vaccine for a pandemic? Dude, there's internal. It's all coming out now. I'm telling you. I know. When I told you day one this was released on purpose, it's all going to come out. You guys will see that Mike's not crazy. I fucking have no life, so I do my I do my homework. You know, it sucks I have no life, but you know, unfortunately,
I have
this.
You're jealous of the people who didn't fall for that shot and stuff like that, because I did. I mean, I'm not saying it was good or bad.
I fell for the first dose. The second dose, I still can't lift my arm. I got something called SIRVA. Look it up. Shoulder Injury Related Vaccine Administration. When I lift my arm above my shoulder, I have terrible pain. Okay? It's listen, if you're over 65, I think the vaccine upside way outweighed the downside. But like not letting Novak Djokovic play the Miami Open because he's not vaccinated, they won't let him in the country. What do they do? What kind of country are we living in? When it's already been proven that the vaccinated people are more likely to spread COVID than the unvaxxed.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. It's that whole thing was just.
It was a money grab. Listen, what did I tell you? The U.S., we have 250,000 homeless people. They're dying on the streets. 100,000 people overdosed from fucking fentanyl. And then the government don't give a fuck how many people die. Now they're on TV. Take this shot. We're trying to save lives. You should have known right then and there. They're full of shit. They don't give a fuck who dies.
I mean, let me tell you, they had some geniuses behind that because it fucking worked.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, they made boatloads of money.
They scared the public into believing if you don't take the shot. Do you remember Biden? This is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. The lies, they just spew lie and lie. And Biden's net worth was $3 million, and now he's worth like 90. They're all being paid. You know, everything they say that Trump is what they're doing. Trump, they see his tax returns. He's literally lost money in his presidency. And I think Trump's a piece of shit. But I'm just being honest. I mean, everything they accuse one side of doing is what they do. You know, Fauci, you mark my word. If they're able to get complete control of the government, Fauci will go to prison. They have it all on him. I told you what he was from day one. All you had to do is look back at the AZT he pushed during the AIDS epidemic that killed hundreds of thousands of people. Go read his past. You know, I tell people to read, they don't.
I gotta ask you, Mike, are you familiar with Andrew Tate?
I am now, but I wasn't.
You see what they're doing to him, man?
Well, yeah. Well, he told you they were going to come after him. He said they're going to imprison him. You know, he was a threat to them. He had millions and millions of followers. You know, I mean, first of all, everybody looks up to this guy, and there's a lot of good things he does say. But like when you're like having hot models on cams and doing funny sexual stuff on cameras with millions of followers, I mean, you're just kind of asking yourself to like get set up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. I'm not quite. There's a lot of things he says that are good, but listen, he's a lot phony too. You know, there's.
Yeah, he is. I mean, his past.
I'm not all in on him. You know, I think I think he does exploit women for money, but the world has been like that for hundreds and thousands of years. Prostitution's been going around since fucking Pompeii before it exploded in what was that 1100 BC, you know, and like if you go to Pompeii, they have like whorehouses, they have beds for where the prostitutes used to have sex with the men. So it's like, you know, men have been exploiting women for money for years. So it's not like, you see what I'm saying? But you can't, I don't know. I mean.
And he wasn't doing it to like that big of an, you know, like that wasn't his main, that was his past. I think they started shutting him up when he was trying to be this leader towards young men and, you know.
Yeah, well, they have to.
Social media bullshit.
They need to fucking transsexualize, take the fucking masculinity off men because men are leaders. Fucking, you know, if you make everybody weak, listen, and dependent on the government, this is what, listen, it's pretty obvious what's going on. I mean, it's pretty sad because this country needs two well-functioning parties. Right now, we have one party that's completely out of their fucking minds, and they have the other party that's lurched pretty far to the right that's kind of out of their minds, like I know that I'm pro-God, and I believe in God, and I think we should have the Pledge of Allegiance and God put back in our lives, but, you know, I also think they're a little bit too extreme on the right too. So these were the far right and the far left were just fringes, and now with social media, they've brought these fringes to the mainstream, and we can't have. It's just not. The society's in trouble with fringes in the mainstream. You know.
Yeah.
I've said it from the beginning. I love gay people. I don't care if you're gay, trans. I'll be your best friend. I'll stick up for you. But you know what? What you do. Why do we have to care what you do in your own personal bedroom? I don't give a fuck what you do in your bedroom. You know why?
Mike,
pushing
you
it on
no fear about being canceled.
No, but pushing it on the mainstream is ridiculous. It's like, why? You know, like it's just why. You know, have your own life. I'll love you just if you're gay, straight. I don't care what you do. I'll still love you. But you can't push it on the mainstream. You can't tell people whose religious beliefs think that's bad and then say, we're going to cancel you because you don't accept that. And if you look at Putin's State of the Union speech 2 weeks ago about the West, everything he said in that speech is true. You know, go look it up if you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I mean, they make Putin into some crazy person, but all you have to do is go back as far as like 2014 when, I mean, I just watched the MS-370 on Netflix yesterday, you know, and, you know, 6 months after MS-370 went down, You know, the Russians shot the MH17 out of the sky. And, you know, this Ukraine-Russian thing's been going on for years. They want to say unprovoked attack. It's just, that's so not true, you know. Is it horrible?
I mean,
yeah, it's horrible, but it wasn't unprovoked. The U.S. provoked everything.
I mean, I remember when Trump and Putin were shaking hands, you know?
They don't want that. They needed the boogeyman. Remember for 3 years we heard the lie, Russia, 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 right? And then all the people on the left, they're like, oh, Trump's big lie, the big lie. Oh, election deniers. They called Trump an illegitimate president for 3 years. What do they talk about, election deniers? It's like they don't even have memories.
You think Putin feared Orange Man?
Fuck yes, he feared him. Trump fucking told him he'd drop a bomb on Moscow if he got anywhere near Ukraine. Now Trump said, he said, I don't know if he believed it, but if he believed it 5%, that's all he needed. You know?
Exactly.
You got to be strong. You got to lead, but peace through strength. Not a bunch of weak pussies. Can't be weak.
I mean, he's probably fearless of Puppet Boy right now. So
yeah. Well, I hope to fucking God Trump's not the nominee in 2024.
He's running. He's running.
I just believe. I believe that his policies were good. I believe he cared more for this country than any other president of our lifetime. But his baggage and the way he spoke to people. And yeah, I'd rather have a guy that was an asshole but got the shit done. But it got to the point where it was ridiculous. You know, it was like the shit he would say on Twitter was a joke. And I just don't think we need that baggage. And I believe Ron DeSantis is Trump without the baggage. I do know that Ron DeSantis is running. And I hope I go check out Vivek Ramaswamy, and he's who I want to see.
The Florida guy, DeSantis is the Florida guy.
Correct, but I like Vivek Ramaswamy the best. I would love to see him win the nomination. He's worth like $600 million. Tech guy, retired. And so he's really smart. Go to check out his Twitter and his page. His ideas are really, really good. So
I mean, the only thing we can't be complaining about is how online poker is starting to get legalized everywhere again, which is awesome.
Is it good or bad? I'm just going to open it up for more cheating. You know,
I like it. I think if it's
I love it. But why do we need high limit online? Why can't we just have $100 max buy-in tournaments and $2 to $5 playing online? Why do we need to have? Because see, when you're playing for big money, that creates people who want to. You don't have to do much to steal. You know what I mean?
No, there's got to be factors that come into play that stop that cheating shit. And I know there is. There's
back in the day, they were playing 2-400 PLO. On full tilt, and all of them were equity chopping Guy Liberté, who lost $60 million. Do you know what equity chopping is? That means if they had like 23%, they'd put it in. At the end of the hand, whatever their equity was in the hand, they would get it transferred back to their account. And Guy Liberté was playing against 20 cards every single hand. And
if you're playing stakes cash online, knowing that there's Skype and FaceTime and shit like that, you fucking almost deserve that to have.
I agree.
It sucks because we want to play the cash games online, but it's just not possible.
No.
There's people who sit at the tables. They're fucking on Skype.
They have RTA hooked up to their shit. They're robots. You can't win.
Yeah.
If they made online poker legal throughout the country. And the biggest tournament you could play is $100 buy-in, or even $200 buy-in. And the biggest cash game you could play is a 2-5 no limit. Then I'm all for it. But when you start putting out millions of dollars at stake, you don't have to do much to steal $1 million a year. That's peanuts. You know, these guys are fucking stealing $10 million a year.
Can you tell me the name of that player with the 60? I'm sorry, I'm trying to write this down because I'm going to look into that.
Oh, Guy Liberté, the guy who runs all the Circus du Soleils out here. He played online, and all the people who were playing against him, they beat him out of $60 million, and then they were equity chopping. And to me, I thought it was cheating. And a lot of people are like, well, no, they're just putting their money in and whatever equity. Well, yeah. If you have 23% and if you lose the pot, you get 23% of your money back. If you win, it was a free roll. The guy had 16 cards against him every hand. That's why if you remember those 400 PLO games, they looked like they were crazy. They were crazy because they were all equity chopping.
Have you ever, in your career, has someone ever came up to you with an idea like this, or
I would never steal a dollar.
You don't have to name drop. I'm just saying.
No, because people know I would never steal a quarter, ever.
Awesome.
Awesome. You could. I used to play. I was on my bed on my laptop, and my buddy Mike Wattell was on my main computer, and he was in the room right next to me. I raised his ass on the river, and he's like, "What do you got?" And I'd be like, "I got a $400 fucking dollars, bitch." I mean, I would never fucking have, but think about it. If I wanted to, I could be at my laptop right next to him, and me and him would be playing 8 cards. They can never win. Do you understand? Yeah. If you're in a 6 max PLO, and me and you are in a game together, sitting next to each other, and we could look at 8 of the 24 cards, we just play straight forward. They can never win, ever, because if one of us has the dry ace of hearts, all we have to do is bet and raise, and the king can't call. You could just shut people out. But I'd rather die.
Now you add along all the rich guys who are just trying to play online who know nothing about that.
I'd rather fucking be dirt poor than steal a quarter from anybody, And listen, I've made mistakes where I've borrowed money that took me a while to pay back, and I got on tough times. I've made mistakes. We all make mistakes. But I'd never, ever steal a quarter from anybody. I'd rather be dead. I would.
That's the way to do it. That is the way to do it. That's how I am.
It's how you're brought up, man. My dad taught me at a young age, son, don't listen to anyone. If you work hard in your life, you will have a very good life. You will never have to worry about money.
I'm only asking you because you've been around, high amounts of money. So that's why I'm asking you, because it's just like, even when you're around that kind of money, is it like, do you ever take that chance of like, oh, this guy's got a plan? But the fact that you're saying no that's respectable, man. That's how it should be.
Yeah. I mean, why would you ever steal from anybody? I just, live a good life, man. And listen, here's the bottom line. What's wrong with society? It's a real easy fix, okay? If everybody in the world would just follow, if 80% of the world, fuck 80%, let's go 70%, would follow the 10 commandments, we'd have world peace. And the world would be fucking fine. Thou shalt not steal.
You're not wrong.
Thou shalt not covet. Thou shalt not fucking commit adultery. Okay? There's so many. What does social media do the most? It makes people covet. People want to show off what they have, and people get jealous and think that's reality. Okay?
Sometimes they show off what they don't have.
Correct.
That's the problem.
Correct. So, like, everybody that listens to the show, and you should always tell everybody, you want to be a better person, follow the 10 commandments, and you'll have a good life. That's it. The world will be a better place. The world is fucking fixed. If everybody follows the 10 commandments, the world is fixed. We don't even need everyone.
What do you think's the percentage currently of people following the 10 commandments?
30? 30? 35?
Okay.
35? I mean, that shows how far the country's or the world's fallen. I mean, if we could get 60% of the world following the 10 commandments, we'd have we'd have nothing to worry about.
I mean,
70% would be amazing.
That's double.
Right.
That's double.
Double for what we are now. That's the problem.
Do we instill it in schools? I mean,
we instill it in school. We instill the Pledge of Allegiance in school. You say the Pledge of Allegiance. You You preach our the national anthem, and you go to church or synagogue. We're a Jewish Judeo country. You instill values in people. What's the biggest problem with the African American community? Is fatherless homes. 70% are fatherless homes, right? If you have a family, you stick together. You don't get divorced. You don't cheat on your wife. These are all things to make society better. Just follow the 10 Commandments.
Yeah.
All right, my man. I appreciate the call.
All right. It was awesome talking to you. I'll be tuned in.
You got it. All right. Well, listen, we've had a 2.5 hour podcast. That's great. We will try and be back next Friday. I hope so. And listen, I appreciate you all for tuning in. I hope we got to talk about a lot of poker, a lot of sports, threw in a little bit of politics at the end. I love you all. I'll see you all next week for the Mouthpiece. Have a great weekend, you guys. Stay safe.
The Mouthpiece.